Hello everyone, I'm Christina and I'm in 11th grade. I'm a junior.
Hello, my name's Grantville. I'm a rising senior at University High School.
Hello, my name is David and I'm a rising sophomore.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm a senior at OSHA.
Hi, I'm Isabel and I'm a junior at OSHA too.
Today we're going to be talking a lot about remote learning and its effects on all of us. Recently, Governor Newsom announced that schools cannot reopen if they are in counties that the state is closely monitoring for coronavirus spread. So what is your opinion on this policy? Would you support it, like going back to the classroom, or would you support remote learning more, and why is that?
I pretty much support his decision just because they opened some schools around the world and there was about 97,000 students who got COVID. So I think what he did was the right decision.
I also support the policy because the safety should always be the priority, and it's just gonna make the pandemic worse when the schools reopen.
Yeah, I agree. And I definitely understand the disappointment that some people might feel about not returning to school. This is my last year of high school and I'm obviously sad about not being able to return to school, but I definitely agree with that safety and health should always be number one. And I think with COVID-19 just constantly rising, we need to kind of contain it and stay with remote learning.
Yeah, I agree with everything everyone said so far. I agree that it might be disappointing, but I feel like, especially since California has kind of a dangerously high amount of cases right now, in my opinion, it's best to be in remote learning, or at least some sort of hybrid program to ensure everyone's safety.
Yeah, overall, I think it was a pretty responsible decision by the governor, because a lot of schools in other states, when they decided to reopen, they saw an increase in coronavirus spread. So it's probably best that we took precaution before it actually began to happen. What options of hybrid/complete online learning did your school offer?
For my school, there were 4 models. So there was a traditional, blended, hybrid, and Irvine Virtual Academy. And I think that hybrid and blended were essentially the same thing. I took the route of IVA, which was obviously the virtual academy.
My school offered only complete online until the cases reduce.
Yeah, my school did the same.
I have a question. When it was IVA, are the classes different from the other models, or are they the same classes?
That's a really good question. So my school is University High School. So instead of taking classes from there, it's going to be at San Joaquin. So, that's completely different. So basically you have different teachers, different test, homework, and assignments. That's the overall difference.
What led you guys to make the decision between choosing hybrid or completely online learning if you had a choice? What was the determining factor for you guys?
For me, it was just all family health. I prioritize, the safety of my family before my education. And that also goes for family time and taking the time out of my studies to hang out with my family. So I guess the first thing that came to mind was just safety overall.
I chose hybrid, and since I've already done complete online during the pandemic, I thought it was less effective, and there wasn't much thing to do for me, just to sit in front of the computer.
When my school announced that we had 2 options between hybrid and completely online, I was kind of nervous because at first I was thinking I should choose to go completely online, but then I was kind of concerned because the online system seemed to have different classes, and I was afraid that it could look different on the transcript, or it could affect rigor of the courses. So that made me switch back to hybrid. For me, it was a very difficult choice, but I guess I switched back to hybrid because in the end, the school district did decide to go completely online. So even if it's a hybrid model, you still don't have to go back to school yet.
I think that's part of the reason why I should have chosen hybrid if I'm thinking, I guess, for the future long term, because they just announced that, every school is going to be online, even hybrid, but the teachers are going to be from, that specific school. So I feel like, I don't know if that's really unfair. I'm starting to kind of reconsider whether I made the right choice.
Has any of your extracurricular activities been affected by remote learning, such as like club activities or just outside activities that you generally have?
For me, my sports season was postponed to or it was in second semester, but it was postponed by several months, and we don't even know if we're gonna have a season. But yeah, it's generally postponed. Or I'm playing tennis, by the way.
I'm a team captain at Discovery Cube OC's volunteer program. And because of the pandemic, a lot of nonprofits like Discovery Cube have been forced to close. So as a result, like I haven't been able to volunteer there. And I know like all of my friends are kind of sad since we just started like our year as team captains. And I feel like with the pandemic, that kind of disrupted everything as a whole. And now like the volunteer program is put on pause.
Yeah, also for me, my sports season has been postponed, and like we had some final project that we had to work with partner, but because of the pandemic, the school stopped. We had to work alone, so I think the project didn't end up as the best.
Yeah, I used to volunteer every Saturday. I used to like teach kids in Santa Ana violin, but we haven't been doing that since spring because of the pandemic. I kind of miss doing that, and I miss teaching. And also, obviously, like, I think clubs at school are kind of like on a pause right now. Yeah, I've been missing out on that too.
For me, the clubs at my school made like a decision to have all the club meetings actually go online and just allow the students to host Zoom club meetings and also potentially have a digital club rush, which is kind of interesting because it's going to be something that we would never have done.
I'm just hoping that like through Zoom things will be like as normal as possible. I don't know if it'll be like as productive as it could be in person, but I'm really hoping that we could still get work done.
Adding on, I guess like just learning to compromise with the current situation. I've had to do like piano lessons through FaceTime and Zoom, and I know like a lot of other of my activities have been like adapted to going online. So I guess just learning to work around that and learning to kind of adapt to what's going on right now.
Catherine brings up a good point. It's just the concept of adapting. I mean, she brings up the idea of like virtual piano lessons. Like from my experience, I just ended up canceling my piano lessons and just went, I guess, all solo.
Yeah, I also think adapting would be the most important thing because we should be able to perform like as if we're meeting in face.
I definitely like how we've transformed a lot of platforms online, and since it has been almost around 5 months since the pandemic started, I feel like we came a long way through getting used to this new way of life. Hopefully the pandemic will be over and we can go back to normal. But right now, I do think that we're doing pretty good at adapting to it through all these online courses and going remote learning. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to or ways that you think that you can grow from this new experience and this new way of learning?
I'm hoping to improve like my time management skills. We have like a lot more freedom. Like a lot of my teachers will let us out like earlier than like the designated time period, and I have like a lot of like tasks that I kind of need to organize on my own. So I'm hoping to like become more productive while being independent.
Yeah, adding on top of that, I'm hoping like with all of this extra free time, I can kind of explore things that I might have not had the opportunity to do before. Like I've always wanted to learn guitar, but I never gotten around to it just because like my schedule has been so packed. So I feel like also just like taking advantage of the opportunity to also like relax and try out new things.
For me, I would just say I don't have that much like free time, just because I'm doing college applications and I have to study for APs for senior year. If I were to have free time, I look forward to focusing on my music. For example, I'm doing a portfolio, I guess a music portfolio on YouTube for like drums and like different covers. So that's one thing I look forward to.
Yeah, as everybody said, I think it would be a good time to like develop ourselves.
Like Grant said, I'm also preparing for a music portfolio. I'm producing beats, so I'm also preparing that. Like, I think through online learning, I kind of got to develop more of my extracurriculars more than I would do when it was not online and when we went to campus.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I really like really like David's point about how we should use our time to develop ourselves more, and how we have this much free time and we can use it to build up our extracurriculars. And even though this is something bad, we can use it to do good and use it in a productive way.